Hi there, I'm Sheila Maria. I am a psychic medium for starseeds and it is wonderful to be with you. And this video is called Hearing Your Higher Self, something that more and more people are seeking to do. And what we're going to be doing within this video is we're going to be talking to you about why you would want to hear your higher self, when you can tell if that's what you're really sensing, and how to trust what you get. First of all, if you do enjoy my work, please would you consider liking, sharing and subscribing. It makes a huge difference for me because I'm a small fish in a very, very large sea. So first of all, what is the higher self? The higher self is the version of you that isn't in physical form and has a very expanded view of all life. And I often say that it's the true you without fear, and it's the true you without limits, but it is still you. I remember having a higher self portrait done, and it looked just like me, only younger, less wrinkles. And I realised that at times it is exactly who I am. And that's the same for you. Your higher self is not like an outside being, because there is no such thing. The higher self is a state of awareness that you can hold for a very short amount of time before your physical self brings in the conditioning of the personality. So why you would want to sense your higher self, for me, it's to make the most out of my incarnation on earth. I want to make sure I'm learning as much as I can. I want to make sure I'm loving as much as I can. I want to make sure that I am giving as much as I can. And for me, that is the reason I regularly hear my higher self. For you, it may be that you want to understand why something has happened or why something keeps happening. It might be to do with a relationship or your career or your health. And your higher self did design your life. So your higher self wrote this incarnation at the same time, this is my belief, as writing parallel incarnations in other types of life forms, not just human, not even just humanoid, that will impact what happens here. So for example, it is my knowledge that at the times I've got sick, I've often died in other lives. At times that I've had a particularly hard time, it is because there's been a hard time occurring in another life. So one of the things I find very interesting when I'm doing this for clients is looking at the parallel lives, not just the past lives, and the effect of those lives on the life now. So that is another reason why learning to hear your higher self is really going to make much more sense of the life that you're living right now. So how do you do it? For me, it's done in two ways. I started off by learning to hear my guides, and my main guide, Orion, has a very blunt way of looking at things, and my higher self is pretty blunt. He's not my higher self, but apart from him, he's the closest to it. So I would say get to know your group of guides first, get to know your main guide, learn to trust your main guide about your own life, and then learn to go from your main guide into your higher self-awareness. okay? The other thing that I did to take myself into higher self-awareness was meditate in a very, very aware state upon my pre-life plan. So I would see things that have yet to happen, and I would see why those things were going to happen. So I only did this to strengthen my awareness of my higher self, okay? The third thing that I did is I meditate in a very, very deep, aware state, and I tune in to what I know about anything. So it could be what I know about my life path, what I know about my daughter's life path, what I know about the future of my son, what I know about my business, what I know about how my life will end. Okay, so they're interesting information, but you don't want to look because you won't get told everything you want to hear. You'll get told what I call our fated events. And so fated events is the exit point that takes you off the planet, or when you're going to have children, if you're going to lose a child. You know, don't look at these things unless you're able to cope with them. So when I tune into what I know, it's not about the facts. It's not about the subject that I'm tuning into. It's the tuning in itself. And when I know I've got it is when I'm able to know my parallel lives. So when I'm in that expanded state of self, I'm no longer Sheila, I'm Sarah, and I am very, very aware of the other lives I am living at the same time as this one. Okay, so I've got a reptilian lifetime. I'm not a baddie, do have dodgy orange hair. I've got an Indian lifetime. I've got a Palladian lifetime. I've got a Yahel lifetime, and I've got an Elven fairy lifetime as well. So for me, that's the way I do it. Now, everybody can, and in my opinion, should learn to tune into the higher self, because one of the skills that I offer my students is I'm able to merge with their higher self, and their higher self will speak directly to them through me. But how much better is it when you can do that yourself? Okay, so that's how to connect with your higher self. So when can you tell that it's really your higher self and it's not your imagination? So you can tell if you are being given, okay, you can tell if you have an awareness that you really wanted to have an experience which is difficult for the personality to deal with, but it is expansive for yourself as a soul. So let's say that you're in a difficult relationship situation, and for your personality self, it's really, really difficult. It's painful. But when you're in higher self state, you know that you'll understand so much more about yourself. You'll love yourself more. You'll feel more deserving of being treated well. And so that's why you planned to go through whatever you're going through. So that's one way of knowing that it's really your higher self. The other way of knowing is that whatever it is you're tuning into, you will know within yourself. You won't hear words, okay? So if you're clairaudient, you can hear your higher self, your God self speak to you. If you're not clairaudient, you're clairsentient, or just, you know, very aware, it won't be that you hear your higher self talk, so you won't doubt the words because you won't get it in words. you will receive the information as a knowing about whatever it is you're tuning into. So using the example of the relationship again, it will be that you know whatever it is you need to know, and you'll know that you know it. Okay, that's how you know it's really your higher self. Okay, another way that you will know that it isn't your imagination is that you're not being told what you want or need to hear. You're being told what you need to know. And very often it's what you really know, and you're avoiding it, you're avoiding it, you're avoiding it. In your conscious state, you don't want to hear that, okay? So those are the ways that you know it's really you. Okay, I'm going to do a video about that as well. So, how to trust what you get? Again, this is about being in that state. You will trust it at that moment. You may not trust it 10 minutes later, which is why I always advise you to try and write down what you get. But in the moment, you'll understand. You'll understand the reasons why something happened, or why something is happening, or why something is destined to happen. You will understand, even if you don't like it, and you will be able to trust it because you understand. And that's my answer to that. Now, I am actually offering this as a course to my students, which is learning to hear your higher self for yourself and others. And it is a life-changing skill if it is used responsibly. It's not something you want to play with, because you will see things and know things that you might wish you didn't. So you need to be in a place of accountability if this is something that you want to do. If you need any help with that, do check out my mentorships, where you get 4 one-hour sessions with me. You get light being and star being activations, psychic activations. You also get loads of readings and lots of fun. Have yourself a wonderful November, and if you haven't already, please would you like, share and subscribe. We love you so much. Bye bye for now.